Right? Don't be a closet prepper. It's like, what? Yeah, I'm supposed to keep things secret. I'm not supposed to tell anybody about it. Yes and no. Uh, you don't tell random strangers on the street, but you do tell your loved ones. You prepare with your loved ones. Because if you are keeping everything secret, it becomes impossible for them to help you, and it creates a lot of mistrust because they're wondering, where did all this finances go? Why are you taking all this time in the backyard trying to start a little fire, or whatever it may be? Because it's like they're wanting to watch the newest greatest TV show with you, but you're spending all your time preparing for the when disasters strike. Yes, they will, but you got to have the family, the people working with you on this, because they need to buy into what you're doing. They need to know what you're doing, and they need to be prepared themselves. If they're not prepared, then you're failing as a prepper. Plus, if you're not taking the time to watch that new show that the other person really wants to watch, or go do that activity that they really want to do, and you're only focused on preparedness, it's not going to be healthy for the relationship. And then in the long run, it'll be unhealthy for you later on as well. So I highly encourage you to include everybody in preparedness that is appropriate and within your household. Now, again, not the stranger, not necessarily even your neighbors. It depends on the relationship you have. But like for me, for example, for a number of years, I didn't even prepare very much. I still prepared and put things back, but I didn't put a lot of money or resources into it. Not because my wife was not wanting to or willing to, but it was a season in our life where we didn't have much money and funds. So we did what we could, and then we slowly added to and grew and grew and grew. And that is something that you can do with intentionality. And it found that through preparedness, that way it saved us money and a whole bunch of other things along those lines, and freed up a lot of time, which is a whole different subject matter than today. But including people in your preparedness and in your willingness to do things and practicing together, it creates a bond. It's like going out and teaching someone how to do something, or learning from them how to do something in your family, is great. And it multiplies your time, which is a key resource for all of us, that we never can get back. So if somebody learns a skill set and takes a weekend to learn it, and then comes back home and then can teach it to other people in the family, that's a force multiplier for everybody. So everybody doesn't have to go take that class. You can be on the specialist in this area and then get everybody else trained up in some shape, form, or fashion that's appropriate for the individual. I'm not telling you to teach your 5-year-old how to be a combat medic or anything like that. That would be ridiculous. I mean, they're not prepared or equipped or even strong enough, or mentally prepared or capable enough to do that well. Now, the 5-year-old could be ready and trained how to clean things up or do other things along those nature, that's appropriate. Whereas, a 15-year-old can do most things adult can, but there's some things that they may not be able to do. It just depends on the individual. Please understand that it's not all about seriousness. The world's going to end. You could do activity where it's the fire starting, like people like to do the bow fire starting. Been there, done that. Use a Bic lighter. I mean, it's just easier. I mean, it's like you learn how to do all these things, and then you still use the Bic lighter. Little side hack for you: if you're going to be carrying a Bic lighter for emergency reasons, if you can get a small, like the sandwich Ziploc bags that are like the name brand is what I recommend this, because they're a little bit more watertight than the generics. The really small ones, put your Ziploc bag in there and put a little bit of kindling in there. Or sorry, your Bic lighter in the Ziploc bag and a little bit of kindling in there that'll always be dry. Because believe it or not, if you're out in the rain and running around, Bic lighters will get too soaked to strike real easy. I didn't even think of this. I'm not a smoker, don't know, but about that. But I had a friend that was a farmer, that he was a smoker, and he says he always carried the Zippo lighter because those were more reliable than a Bic lighter. But he also said if he has to carry a Bic, He puts it in a Ziploc bag so that keeps the rain off of it enough that you're going to be able to reuse it. And just a little hack that I picked up from a friend from years and years and years ago. And it works. And it works in snow too, because people don't think about it. You fall down in the snow melts on you, or it freezes in the moisture refreezes inside of the Bic lighter. Not a good thing. So Ziploc bags, really worth it. But all that to say, do a little activity to create, so you can start a fire faster, in your family, you or somebody else, and they're going to eventually beat you. They will. They'll figure out little tricks. Most people do anyway. But those types of things, have activities, have fun with it, and enjoy it. Start a little garden, even if it's just on an apartment terrace or in a windowsill, like a herb garden, whatever it may be. Start something and work together with other people on it in your household. Make it a fun thing, not just the end of the world is going to end. No, we don't want that. We want that's not what all life's about. Enjoy the moment, have fun with the moment, improve things for what they are now, so that later on it's not as stressful. You have the relationship, you have the teamwork to be able to go through disasters. The first week and 2-3 weeks, it's not going to be a big deal for you, and you can recover a lot easier if you have that relationship, and that trust in building it now is fundamental to later. And then on a side note, I have put together a number of things over the years, but if I never tell my wife about them, and we don't tell our kids about some of them, we don't necessarily tell our kids about everything on that. Again, age appropriateness, and also some kids just talk too much. You don't want them to do that. But if I didn't tell my wife, going back to my wife, if I didn't tell my wife about what we had and was available, and I'm out on a road trip or out camping or doing whatever it is I'm doing that's away from the house, and something bad happens and I'm not there to tell her it's there, and she suffers. Could you imagine, just painting a picture here? You're on a road trip. You're going to be gone for the weekend. You're flying from wherever you live to some big city, hundreds of miles away. Say Atlanta, LA, Miami, New York, wherever it may be. Okay? You've flown there. You're doing your weekend business trip, and the grid goes down. I know, big extreme event here, okay? I get that. Or it could be a hurricane hits and you can't get back in, or whatever, earthquake, and the airport's damaged near where you are, and the bridges are out, so you can't get home. And you're like, and the cell phones don't work for whatever reason it may be. And you have all these preps put together because you love your wife, you love your kids, or your husband, whoever it may be that whoever it is you love that spouse, and you love your kids, or your parents, or whatever, your family, and they don't know about your preparedness in any shape, form, or fashion, and don't know how to use it, and they open up this weird thing, and it turns out it's a water filter, and they don't know how to use it because the instructions aren't with it, or it's because they need more water, and they have tons and tons of water. They don't know what to do to purify it, and then they get sick because they're drinking dirty water. Or they need to keep warm, and you've got a nice little diesel heater, and you've got all the stuff to keep them warm, and you got a little wood stove to go with it as well. You have all these things prepared, and they don't know about it. It's the middle of winter, and they're freezing in the house. Or in the closet, there's a little camp stove and tent that they could put up, or some other things that they could do. You've done some other stuff to get things to help them stay warm, but they don't know about it. We don't do it in secret. We let them know. We show them what it is and how it works. And I even work out sometimes on some of my stuff. I put my instructions with the prep so that if they're in a stressful situation, they don't have to remember it all if I'm not there. Or if I'm in stress, I don't have to remember it all. So we don't do it in secret within our group, within our family, because we may not always be there, probably will be, but we can't count on that. I encourage you to make it fun with them, not make it end of the world. Have some activities, do some things, And, preparedness could be going to watch a movie as a family outside the house. It could be, you know, going to eat at a nice restaurant as a husband and wife. That's preparedness too. It's building those relationships. It's not all about doom and gloom and having, 4,000 days worth of food stored in your house and stuff like that. It's not about that. It's about having a quality of life and helping others, because you're in a position of abundance and you're able to keep your loved ones safe and cared for. And it's all about helping people stay safe as you can and being positioned to help others. So I hope you're doing well, and I wish you to have a great and wonderful day. And remember to relax and enjoy life now and prepare for the disasters that are coming, because we never know when they'll hit. Be safe out there.